Hey guys, in today's video I have a back to school homeschool supply for you guys. If you are new to my channel, my name is Samantha, and even though my family, our homeschool just finished and we aren't back to school until the end of October, everyone else, especially public school, private school, they're all back to school already. So I went ahead and did all of our homeschool supply shopping the weekend that we had tax-free weekend here in Texas on school supplies and all of that stuff, because I also ordered from Target.com. We live about an hour away from Target and about 30 minutes in either direction from a Walmart. So it's easier for us to just order supplies online and get everything that I need and make sure I get what I want, rather than fighting the back to school crowds and the tax-free weekend and the back to school sales. Rather than fighting all of that in person, I just ordered online. So with that said, I was able to get verified on Target.com as an educator. So that gives you like a one-time shopping coupon for, I think, 15% off of it's like school supplies and some other things. I think like clothing items maybe, and some other stuff. I just used it on school supplies. And then at the same time of the back to school tax-free weekend that Texas had, Target was also having a back to school sale online. So everything was 15% off for back to school. And then I had the 15% off coupon, and then it was tax-free weekend. So rather than just waiting to buy the things that I needed in October or September sometime, I just decided to go ahead and put my order in and get all of these things at a dirt cheap price. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this haul. A lot of these items that I have are things that my kids need to pair along with the curriculum that we use from the Alviary. So we went through a lot of notebooks this year, and we are going through our like drawing paper and watercolor paper quickly, so I went ahead and got a lot of those things. So let's go ahead and get started, and I have all of the notebooks and things like that right here, so I will start with those. The first thing that I got was this primary composition. I used to have a whole lot of these. I like bought them in bulk one year on Amazon, but I don't know what happened with that, and for whatever reason, these like particular primary compositions are more expensive than any other composition. Like, I'm pretty sure the ones that I ended up getting were like 15 cents just based off the sales. And this was still over like almost over $3, almost $4. But whatever, my son needs this. It is needed for, he's doing after learning to read when we start our Alviary school year. When he's done with learning to read, I'm going to just move him into the reading level 1 with Alviary. And that is what he needed this for. I also got all 4 of my kids new sketchbooks. Here they are. I bought them sketchbooks last year off Amazon that were like higher quality brands. But they wanted these ones again from Target, and so I went ahead and got it. I don't know why. I don't know the difference, but I guess like the paper is really smooth in here and they like that. So whatever, and they like drawing and sketching in these. This comes in handy for nature journaling, and I think they were all needing new nature journal sketch pads, so they have it for that. A couple of my kids are doing some art classes online in addition to what we're going to be doing with Alviary, so we're going to need more drawing paper anyways in the space for all of that. I also went ahead and grabbed 4 of the Mondo Llama heavyweight paper pads, and these are meant for painting and coloring with markers. So that's what my youngest does. He really likes the videos from Art for Kids Hub or Art for Kids Club. I'm not sure what it is, but they use like, you know, those like fancy markers. He got some of those for his birthday last year, and I'm probably going to buy him a new set for his birthday this year. And he watches the videos on YouTube, and for his birthday last year we bought him some of the like their brand of drawing books, and he loves this paper to use those markers on. I've tried making him use like printer paper or cardstock, and he really prefers like these because his markers won't bleed through, or it won't like fray them or whatever. I don't know. They're all particular about their artwork paper. So they have these for any painting, marker drawing, or whatever it is. And these were really expensive anyways. I think they're actually a great price anyways, but then getting all those deals, it was awesome. So the next thing that I bought is I bought all of my kids these composition notebooks that are graph paper. These really come in handy for doing math and geography and those sorts of things. We had dot journals or we had composition dot books this year, and like the dots are lighter and it still has like the grid so they can draw, but my kids still seem to prefer the graphing paper. So went ahead and got them those. And then I got each of them a couple of regular composition notebooks. I just got 2 of each color so that they can all pick a color and then they have 2 of them. So there's no needing to figure out whose composition's whose. These are things that they'll use for narrations, commonplace journaling, current events, I'm trying to think of what else. Copy work, dictation, which is like spelling. So they'll do a lot of that stuff in these journals. Again, composition books are just something that we use heavily. So hopefully 2 each is enough for them this year. I think some of them still have space in their compositions from this year. If not, whatever. We can always get more. The other thing that I went ahead and picked up were some more binders. So I went ahead and got 4. I don't know that I necessarily need all 4, but I haven't bought binders, I think, in a couple years. And as I was, just using them throughout this year, the ones that we already have, they're just, some of them are starting to fall apart. So I went ahead and grabbed 4 to replace some of our binders. And also, if we need more, I think I'm going to have my son's alveary reading set up in one of these. I have one for my daughter's Spanish because her Spanish binder fell apart this year. So we just needed some more binders, and I went ahead and grabbed a couple. Everything else that I have is pretty big and it's in this box. So I'm just going to grab the box over here and pull from the box. So glue sticks, always need glue sticks. I feel like I buy giant packs of glue sticks all the time, yet somehow we can never find glue sticks. So got a 12 pack of glue sticks. We have the alveary in their supply list. They have really nice watercolor paints that they recommend, and I did buy those last year, so we still have them. You use very little, so they actually last a really long time. But sometimes there's outside of like our art lessons, there's things that my kids want to watercolor, or crafts that they want to do with other watercolor, and instead of using the ones meant for our lessons, I went ahead and just grabbed each of them a watercolor palette for them to have, so they can use this for like I have these canvases here. My kids will just decide that they want to paint something for either themselves or a sibling, or for me or my husband. And then also for nature journaling. I noticed this year that like sometimes instead of coloring some of their stuff in, they want it to watercolor it, but no one really wanted to go through the hassle of getting out the watercolor like tubes that we have, and they're nice palettes. So this is something that they can easily use. It comes with a brush. They're just, they can pack it up and take it wherever, and they'll have their watercolors with them. I had a set of these. No idea what happened with it, but I'm going to have, I have one in continuing in pre-algebra. I have one going into a full geometry course, and then I have my other daughter who's like getting closer and closer to pre-algebra. So I went ahead and grabbed a couple of these compass and protractor sets, and that should be plenty. I got us a community set of markers. These aren't like the nice ones that my son uses for like Art for Kids Hub, but just for my toddler to color, or as they're doing their geography, if they want to outline, and then they'll usually outline with markers and then go in and color with color pencils or crayons or something, or quick color in my son, like in his curriculum, whatever it is. We have just a set of 20 markers. I always have to replace crayons, so I went ahead and grabbed a 48 count of crayons of like the regular colors, and then I always end up getting these Color of the World set of crayons, also the 24 count. It's just my kids, they like to have these whenever they're coloring, if they're drawing people or animals or anything of that sort. These come in handy because they're just more realistic tones than what you can get out of these boxes. So I always get both. I got some dry erase markers, something that I always have to buy and buy and buy again because who knows what happens to them. But it's just always nice for everyone to have a dry erase, because I have like mini whiteboards that they can all have, and a lot of them will do like their stuff on graph paper, like their math or whatever it is, but sometimes they just want to use the whiteboard and just jot on there and wipe. So they have that. You can never have enough pencils. Well, I got 2 packs of wooden pencils, and then I got 2 small, I thought I got bigger packs of these, but I guess not. I got 2 smaller. Oh wait, I got 1 package for my high school son, and then 1 package for my middle school daughter. I don't know what it is. There's like a certain age that kids get to where they just feel too old for wooden pencils, and all they will use are mechanical pencils, and they both have hit that age. My son's been there for a while, and now my daughter's hit that age, so I buy them each their own, and they can keep these like either in their own desk or in their own curriculum container so that the other kids don't get to them. And all of my other kids, they have lots of pencils, so they should hopefully leave the mechanicals alone. I got some highlighters, just another one of those things that I have to buy every year. I got some pens. The other thing that especially my son is getting into is wanting to use pens more and more often. And I got black and blue because if he decides to write in black, then I can do grading and things like that in blue, or vice versa, just so that there's another color. I thought I got more than 1 pair of scissors, but I guess I just got 1 pair of scissors. I can always order another pack on Amazon. I got a couple of rulers. I used to buy them like nice rulers, like the flexible kind or like the thick sturdy kind, and I just stopped because it doesn't matter how much I spend on them, they get ruined, broken, or lost. So I stick to these old school tried and true wooden rulers that cost like 25 cents, I think, and then with all the sales, I don't know, they were probably like 15 cents, who knows. So got a couple of these. I'll probably end up having to buy more in a few weeks. Can never have too many index cards, so I just got a couple of packs for the start of our year, and who knows how many more I'll need to buy throughout the year. A pack of erasers, because your pencil usually outlasts your eraser, so always have to have erasers on hand. And then last but not least, I got a 50 pack of colored pencils. And I have shared in the past like how I store our supplies. We do community supplies. Other than like the mechanical pencils that I'll give to my older kids, everything goes in our little supply caddy, and we just all, my kids share everything. I will link to that video. I still use the same exact caddy that I've used since the year I started homeschooling. It's held up very nicely. So that's all I have. Those are all of the basic school supplies that I bought this year. I still have a list of things that I need to get specifically for some of the alveary lessons. I think my kids are doing like needlepoint embroidery this year. I need to get supplies for that. We gotta repurchase a bird feeder. There's some science supply kits that I still need to get, but for the most part, these are all of the basic necessities that if this is all you had for your homeschool year, you could get most everything done. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this homeschool supply haul, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!